Good afternoon and welcome to Write from the Heart. I am your host, Deborah Johnson. Write from the Heart explores how handwritten communication can transform relationships, can tell your story, and can transform and it can show you how to preserve your history. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Where did the month go, guys? Where did the month go? It is flying by. June is almost in the books. It is the 27th of June or the 26th of June. Goodness, I don't want to rush it too far. It's the 26th of June, and I cannot believe how fast the month is going. It's been one of those days, guys. I went onto my computer to sign onto the show, and all of a sudden it wasn't connecting. I go online only to find out that Windows 11, it has a bug in it that has connectivity issues to your Wi-Fi. But guess what? Thank God for alternate streams of communication. So I'm coming to you live from my iPad today, and hopefully everything goes well. But just wanted to notify you in advance, just in case we have any snafus, but I'm not believing that. I'm just glad to be here today. And today we are talking about travel again. Last week it was a travel log. This show today is our official end of this season of Write from the Heart. And so on this show, we're going to talk about all things postcards. So we're going to teach you a little bit about the history of postcards, how you can craft and create your own postcard. And I'm going to just share little stories about the postcards in my life. But first, I want to know, when was the last time you sent or received a postcard? I'm going to give you a few moments, but when was the last time? I can tell you that in May, I went to the beach, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, please, when you're gone, please send me a postcard. I love postcards." And I took her at her word. And I had so much fun going from shop to shop until I found just the right postcard of the pier that I see out of my window when I'm down at one of my favorite places in the world, right by the water. I look out of the window, and I've watched sunrises and sunsets off of that. So getting that postcard, telling her that this was one of my favorite spots and sent them meant the world to me. And then I got a phone call from her, and she said she was delighted. She said, "You have no idea how much or how good that made her feel just to get that postcard." So can you imagine? Postcards aren't very big. They're not very big at all. They're like this big, like 4x6. Um, Mostly, you get them a little bit bigger, but mostly about 4x6. And you can put a little short note. Now, if you write in that cute little font, like accountants use. Do you know any accountants? They love to write in that teeny little font. You might be able to write a whole paragraph. If you write in that gigantic font, like my dad and my grandmother did, you might get two sentences in there. But we're going to talk about how you do it, what you have to put on it, how much the stamps cost, all of that we're going to cover. But first, I just want to give you a little bit of history about postcards. I love collecting them, and I didn't realize that people actually, collect them as a thing. Like right now, they still collect postcards. So we'll be talking about different ways that you can use postcards. They're not just for sending them to someone else. You might use them for other things as well. But the very first known postcard was sent in 1840. Even before the establishment of the modern postal system, people were sending postcards. It was a hand-painted card that featured a caricature, and it was sent in London, England. So before the established postal system, people still found a way to send postcards. Now, the golden age of postcards occurred sometime between the late 19th and the early 20th century. During this time, postcards became extremely popular as a means of communications and as collectibles. So some people actually collect, like I said, as a hobby, and there is a name for it. It's called deltiology. So it's a popular hobby worldwide. There are people, deltiology, and they collect postcards, and they often seek out postcards based on themes, locations, historical events, or specific artists. Okay, then there are different types of postcards. So postcards come in various types. There are postcards that are scenic. They're called view cards. So they literally give you a view of something, like a city, a skyline, a landmark, the Empire State Building, the Eiffel Tower, the River Nile. You get them and it's a landmark. Some are holiday. Okay, I lost you for a minute. Now I've gone from an issue on my laptop to an issue on my iPad with internet connection, but we're going to keep it moving. And I hope that we can get through this show and get it done. Thankfully, we are talking about postcards. So it's not, it's short, short in the topic, short in the subject, and how you're going to use them. But postage stamps. The first postage stamp specifically designed for postcards was issued, the first one was issued in Austria Hungary in 1869. It featured a stylized P on the stamp, so you knew this stamp went on postcards. Then there are all kinds of sizes of postcards, but to qualify for the mailing rate, the standard mailing rate, it was a standard size 4-inch by 6-inch card. So even though it varies from regions around the world, most cards are about the same size. And then there was postcard etiquette. So in the early 20th century, there were strict rules for writing on postcards. There was a way that you did it. Messages were expected to be short, thus a short little card. And on the left side of the card, you wrote the address. Now it's the right side of the card, but it was the left side of the card for the address only. And while the right side was for the message. But that was way back when. And then there's some historical significance to postcards. They serve to commemorate different moments in history, documented events, landmarks, social customs, providing valuable insight into the past. I found a postcard that my uncle had written my dad. If you can see this, it had a naval officer on it, and it said, "I thought I joined the Navy." Then there was an interesting message on the back, and it said, "Hello, good kid. How did this card find you? Fine, I hope. Everything is fine with me, but those Japs." So they was all about the war and the Japanese, but we don't want to. But we don't want to set the world on fire. We just want to start a flame in their heart. If you only knew what I knew, you wouldn't worry at all. May look bad now, but the time has come. So the time has come for me to end. So I have to say so long. And then my uncle signs it. All of this on a postcard. Can you see that? All of this on a postcard with a 1 cent stamp. Now, it was postmarked 1940. So December 17th, 6 p.m., 1940. So you knew exactly when this was sent off. I think that's 1940. I can see the four, the 1, 9, and 4, but I can't tell whether that's a zero behind this writing or a 1. So it might be 1941, a long time ago. Still in great shape. The graphic is still in great shape. And he was sending a message, a cryptic message about the war. See how that happened? You can send a lot with a couple of sentences on a postcard. Now, there used to be some artistic appeal. Many renowned artists, such as Vincent van Gogh and Pablo Picasso, created artwork specifically for postcards. And now, those are highly sought after by collectors. If you run across one, they're pretty valuable. You might want to hold on to them. It's also it facilitated a cultural exchange. When someone from another country wanted to connect with someone from another country, they'd send a quick postcard, say hello, send a picture, maybe a tea tradition, maybe it's a religious observance. But this is the way that they communicated a little piece of their culture on a card. It's just that simple. But mostly, people bought postcards for souvenirs. Whenever I traveled with my mom or my dad, the very first thing I wanted to do when I got there was go to the gift shop, go to a little store and buy souvenir postcards. So not only did we send buy postcards to mail back home, they came in little books that you opened up and they flopped out, and you got all the major landmarks for that particular city. And the reason why was film cost a lot of money. It wasn't like digital film now where you could take the picture and see if that's good and then take another shot. You're not sure when you took that picture if it would even come out well. But if you got the postcards with the picture on there, you go to New York, you see the Empire State Building, you take the picture, you go see Statue of Liberty, you know for sure you had a good picture. And then it's such a familiar landmark. You would send it home and say, guess what I did today? And people got to share a little bit of what you did. So that's the history behind postcards. But now I want to talk to you just about how do you go about it? Literally, you don't have to leave your house except for a stamp if you don't already have one. And you can use a regular postage stamp, or you can go to the post office and get one specifically designed for postcards. It'll save you a little money, not much, but a little bit. So if you want to do that, you can. But you can literally take a picture. I found this picture. It was a postcard. I have a friend that collects postcards, and she allowed me to use these. And this is a picture of a German family. It's all written in German, so I can't tell you what it says, but it's just a picture of the family. And I can only imagine that they're sending a note, letting them know who's on the picture, and this is the family, and seeing how that person is. Just that simple. Or you can take a photo that you took and you can write on the back. There really aren't any rules to postcards. You can take a standard greeting card, tear it up, and use the inside flap to write on the as the back of the card. And you can put that on your wall. You can put that on your wall. You can put that on your mirror. You can put that on your refrigerator. Just that simple. Okay, it's just going to be one of those days, guys. I don't know what to say. It's just going to be one of those days. But bear with me. I'm going to make this quick. I have signals. The very first thing you want to do is write the recipient's address on the back of the card. And then you want to write on the front where you live. This is going to be one of those days, guys. I don't know what to say. It's just going to be one of those days. But you write it on the back. You don't want to write too big because you won't have any room to put your message. So you put the address, see, right over here. So okay, over here is the address, okay? So you got the address over here. Then you write at the very top, you're going to write your return address, or at the very bottom on the opposite side, just put down your address from, just a little from, and your address written small. Pretend like you're an accountant and write really small and put that there. And then number two, you just greet the person. Hola, I'm in Mexico, finally made it. Bonjour. I just got to France, thinking of you. Can't wait to tell you all about it. Or we're in Nolans, having great, great, great seafood and lots of jazz. Can't wait to tell you about it. You got it? We're in the Big Apple, that kind of thing. Welcome to Hollywood. You want to put that on the top, say a couple of lines about where you are, and then and maybe it's a couple of lines and some kind of message, a cute message. It could be a funny message. It could be what you did that day. You could show a picture of something that's significant to you. You can uh, put a picture of the food that you just ate that day. So it might be a restaurant, a picture, a postcard with all kinds of cool food on it, and say, finally got to taste beignets. Okay, something like that. Or, man, is this food spicy here? Or you might say something funny about the funniest thing that happened that day. Got lost a gazillion times, finally made it back to my hotel. What a wonderful time. Can't wait to tell you about it. Just that simple, but really short and sweet. So you can put a fun fact. If it's their birthday and you just remember, take the postcard, send it, and say, and by the way, happy birthday. I wish you were here. Haven't you heard that before? I wish you were here. And often you look at that card and you wish you were there. So you can do that. And then you sign your postcard, okay? Don't forget to end your postcard by signing your name, so people aren't wondering where that is. Wish you were here, with love, can't wait to see you, be back home soon, that kind of thing. But it's just so wonderful. And then don't forget the stamp. Okay, it's really important to put that stamp on there. Stamps right now, domestic postcards are 48 cents. They are up by, they used to be 44 cents, now they're 48. Internationals are $1.45. They used to be $1.40, and now they're up by 5 cents. So it's not still not too bad to be able to write somebody way overseas, $1.45, and you can love. And for those folks out there who are just short on words, postcards are perfect for you. You can just write a short note, send it out, and have a good time. So I found some wonderful cards I just wanted to show you before we sign off. My mother, it is going to be one of those days. I don't know what to say. This is the third. I was recently in the Bahamas. I found a card from the Bahamas with the Bahamian flag on it so I can remember, and one with all the islands, just so I can check out all the other places I didn't go to and where they were in relationship to where I was. And when someone says, now, where were, and very sweet. You know, I hope you'll take some time this summer. Pick up a piece of paper, pick up a 3x5, I mean, a 4x6 card, and write something from the heart to someone that you love. I will be off writing a book until the fall. I've got some surgery I have to take care of. And so, sometime around November, I'll be back on board talking about all things writing. Until then, catch me on LinkedIn under Deborah Johnson. Catch me at DJ Write from the Heart. I'll be sending all kinds of information out to you. I'll be encouraging you to write, and I'll look forward to hearing from you and how you are moving your writing career right along. It's been a fun season. I can't wait to start season 2 later on in the year. But thank you for hanging in there with me, even with all the blanks in and out. I'm glad you hung in there with me. Take some time, write someone you love, write from the heart, and write for yourself. Keep a journal. I can't wait to hear about it. You'll be getting more information from me throughout the summer about how we're going to connect until we're back.